country is in dire straits. The country has been reduced to a beggar country. Everybody wants a passport to run away. So we discussed the economic issues. And one of the things which we discussed was to approach the powers that be for Mzenda to be recognized for his role in the economic revival of the country. And you know which role, the most important role which he played when he was ill in Beijing? He was the one I worked with to convince the Chinese to bring their biggest Chinese tobacco company, GNC, to come and do contract farming in Zimbabwe. He was on his deathbed, dying from cancer, but he turned his room into a boardroom to work with China Tobacco and work with the Chinese government. That's how we ended up with contract tobacco farming. So we're saying in America, America has turned the art of business into a science. They do it by teaching MBA, case studies of successful companies. Mzenda is a case study of a successful entrepreneurial spirit among Zimbabweans, entrepreneurial politician among Zimbabweans. You can see the results. Next week, the auctions are opening. Year after year, billions go to farmers who benefited from the land reform. Mzenda did that. I worked with him because I was the ambassador on the ground. It was my idea, but he bought into it. It's said that when I went to cabinet, he had already died because he had creative and innovative ideas, and he could probably have dealt with the G40 and their destructive functional illiteracy. But sorry, he was not there. So we made a decision as the war veterans to approach the powers that be, that once the TMB has got a new headquarters in Southampton, beautiful spanking headquarters, maybe a statue of Mzenda should be put there in recognition of his role in the revival of contract tobacco farming. And the most successful land reform crop has been tobacco. It has changed the fortunes. And our Reserve Bank governor was talking about that. This is what we talk about. We talk about progressive things. We don't talk small things. Anna Jonathan, I told they are functionally illiterate. In mathematics, he says he's a STEM minister, mathematics, science, technology, and the like. That's what he claims he is. There is something called a variable and a value in mathematics or in science. If you put a value in a variable, it changes. If you put 2 in a variable, it changes. If you put 4, it gives a different. If you put 1,000,000, it gives a different answer. That's what happens in mathematics and science. Jonathan is a variable which has got one value. The only value which he knows is succession. Whatever you put, succession. That's the only thing which he knows. So we wanted Mzenda to be recognized. These are some of the things which we are doing. Why am I speaking? Because we as war veterans, we are advocating for an economy where Zimbabwe invoices the globe. We must produce things which are invoiced for the globe so that we earn hard currency. And you know, there are crops where we have a comparative advantage which we can work on so that we invoice the globe. We are prepared to exchange. That's a business idea, we will not mention it. But with the arrival of the likes of India with a big middle class, there are many crops which we should supply. The potential of this agriculture is to feed the likes of India with 1.3 billion, China, Indonesia, the Middle East. These are new consumers who have come on the global stage which didn't exist before when Europe was the dominant power. We want an economy which goes in that direction. We have a product, a mineral which God gave us called chrome. Every building you see in the world has got steel. Steel is 30% chrome. Every ship America builds for war, it has got steel, and steel is 30% chrome. Who are the biggest and the best quality chrome producer in the world? Zimbabwe. We fought our resolution at Masvingo. When I became chairman, we made a resolution that we are going to change the cabinet, so that to push the cabinet to make sure that Zimbabwe sells chrome again. We fought in cabinet. It was not easy. It came from the war veterans, came from me, until Zimbabwe started selling chrome. Last year, $38 million came from selling chrome ore, plus of course the smelting of ferrochrome. These are crops where Zimbabwe has got a natural advantage. These are minerals where Zimbabwe has got a natural comparative advantage. if we were to pursue that in cabinet, this country will never be poor, because these crops are demanded by 6 billion consumers. We must invoice 6 billion people. That's what we must do. That's what Singapore does. That's what China does. That's what America does. But the G40, they don't know nothing about that. They don't. They want to invoice, I think it's only local people. I was in cabinet. I asked Jonathan, have you ever been to sell Zima asset to Seoul, to Milan, to Frankfurt? These are the capital markets. To New York, to Madrid, to Beijing, to Mumbai, to Singapore, to Sao Paulo. They've never been there. All those people, they've never sold their stem in the Zimas and those guys. So if you don't go to the markets for capital as a minister, how do you expect the country to build roads, bridges, electricity, to build skyscrapers? You can't. They are incapable. I want you to understand. These are the things we discuss as war veterans. We are visionary. We are not preoccupied every time about how do we come back to ZANU-PF, or how, what about president this or president that. No, president, we know there's just being, there are these people are misleading the party. We've long lost any attention about the issue of president or this or that. We don't, because we are too serious. We have been serious, but we don't get preoccupied. That's a problem for the G40. I told you, the parrot which has been taught one word: succession, succession, succession. Beyond succession, the G40, there is nothing else which anything else works up succession. So we are different. I hope that addresses these issues in a comprehensive manner. We are not in any, we hope with issues which have been raised by the police, if they are administrative or whatever, my team is here to work with them. We were together, we founded the police, ZANLA and ZIPRA. That's the new police force of Zimbabwe. We don't expect that we should have any problems. All the other guys, we know each other. We would not expect to have any problems from them. So if they have issues, we hope they will be resolved. But if there is undue pressure coming to them to act in a manner which is in bad faith, but which is also unconstitutional, we will make sure that we enforce our rights by invoking the Constitution and going through the channels of constitutional enforcement of our rights as war veterans. This we can promise you we will do, but we are very confident that it will never come to that. We think a way can be found. This, in short, is what we wanted to say. We are happy with the governor of the central bank. His new approach that Zimbabwe must invoice, must look for business activity which invoices the world, so that we earn the hard currency to make this economy grow. We become again a customer on the global stage, the way you are